What if I told you that the fall of the Roman Empire didn't start with swords, but with silver? Not with barbarians at the gates, but with the collapse of trust in money itself. Imagine, one of the greatest civilizations in history, undone not by war but by the invisible power of inflation, corruption, and economic decay. This is the forgotten story of how Rome's money broke, and how that single breakdown still shapes every financial crisis we face today. So, what really happened the day Rome's economy died, and could we be repeating the same mistakes right now? Setting the stage, 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire wasn't just powerful, it was rich. From Britain to Egypt, taxes and trade flowed like rivers into the capital. Gold and silver coins, the denarius, carried the emperor's face and the empire's promise. It was more than money. It was trust, stability, and identity, the glue that held the empire's vast machine together. But hidden beneath the marble and might, cracks were forming. As Rome grew, so did its appetite. Wars had to be funded, soldiers paid, monuments built. And when the treasury ran dry, the emperors found a deadly solution. They didn't raise taxes. They changed the money itself. That was the beginning of the end. The origins 230 to 4 o'clock. At first, Rome's currency was strong. The silver denarius, introduced around 211 BCE, was trusted across continents. Its value came from the metal itself. A denarius was silver, not just backed by it. But as emperors spent more than they earned, especially during endless wars, they began to debase the coin. A little less silver here, a little more cheap metal there. No one noticed at first, but over decades the denarius became lighter, duller, and worthless. By the time of Emperor Caracalla in the 3rd century CE, the silver content had fallen from 95% to barely 5%. Rome's money had become a symbol, not a substance. The breaking point, 4 o'clock to 5:30, then came the 3rd century crisis. Civil wars, plagues, invasions, and amidst the chaos, a financial system that simply stopped working. Merchants refused Roman coins, soldiers demanded gold or goods, prices skyrocketed. A loaf of bread could cost a fortune, if you could even find one. The empire turned to price controls, new taxes, even new currencies, but nothing worked. Because when trust dies, no decree can revive it. The Roman economy had imploded from within. And on that day, the day money broke, Rome crossed a line it could never return from. The fallout in failed fixes to 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Desperate emperors tried to patch the system. Diocletian introduced a new gold coin, the solidus, and even outlawed price inflation. But people stopped believing in the emperor's promises. Trade collapsed. Cities emptied. Rome's middle class, once its heartbeat, vanished. Wealth concentrated in the hands of a few elites and the military, while ordinary citizens bartered chickens for grain. By the 5th century, the empire wasn't just politically divided, it was economically hollow. The world's greatest power had fallen, not by conquest, but by corruption of its own currency. Modern parallels to 7 o'clock to 8:30. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because history isn't repeating, it's rhyming. Since 1971, when the US dollar left the gold standard, our money too became pure faith, a modern denarius. Governments print trillions, inflation rises, trust erodes. And every empire in history, from Rome to Weimar Germany, has faced the same truth. When money loses meaning, society loses order. A 2023 study showed that over 85% of all US dollars in existence were created in just the last decade. The same pattern that once broke Rome's economy may be building again, right beneath our feet. Conclusion and takeaways to 8:30 to 9:30. So what can we learn from the day money broke Rome? First, economic strength is built on trust, not metal or paper. Second, every empire falls when spending outruns production. Third, debasing money always buys time, but never salvation. The story of Rome isn't ancient history. It's a warning. Because if money dies, civilization itself trembles. So ask yourself, are we protecting our future or repeating their fate? If this story opened your eyes, help share it, because understanding history might just be our best defense against repeating it. I'm your channel name, and this was The Day Money Broke Rome.